am so not prepared for this solar eclipse. It couldn't be more evident. I'm on the side of the road. I'm in the middle of absolutely nowhere with not the right gear. I actually stopped at a T-Mobile store because I saw that they were handing out eclipse glasses and taped a pair to my GFX. Even though that lens is not long enough. Well, I shouldn't say that. She's perfectly fine the way she is. But for this occasion, that lens is not long enough. It looks just like my eyesight. I did not do this in 2017. I was basically living under a rock, in those days. Is the squirrel in the room? I hear you, Pumpkin. You can come out. Oh my God, today I don't have my dead cat on, and it's literally blaring wind. This is so classic. This is what I mean by unprepared. It's bad. Wow. They say you can't look through this continuously for any longer than 3 minutes. I wish I could just lay here and stare at it for the whole 2 hours. It's every time I look up at the eclipse that you're chirping. And then when I look over here, you stop. I've noticed that. Okay, do you see what I mean? I can't wait to see the images that are just like, we all know them. Someone's doing that. A lot of us are doing that right now. I'm doing that right now, except not really. God, there's so much trash out here. I'm a bit nervous about that tarp over there. I'm just gonna lock back in to this beauty. When you think about why that's happening and like how that's happening, sometimes this is really all it's about, you know? Like, being a photographer is not always about taking the photo. Like, there's so many other people that are capturing this right now, and I am loving that I am the viewer. Watching other people do it will actually end up teaching me as a photographer in other ways that doesn't necessarily equate into me taking the best solar eclipse photo, because I'm not really interested in that. I don't really care to do that, and that's fine. It's nice to just sit here. This is just my eye and the actual thing without a mirror and a sensor and a lens and a filter in between to just see it actually happening. Sometimes that does really feel different than looking through a camera. Seriously, the chirping right when I look up, I feel like we might be friends based on the way you're acting. So would you like to come out now? Here. Would you like to come out now? Come here. Let me see ya. Do you want to look at the solar eclipse? Yo, if you want to come watch, seriously, come take a look. It's nutty. It's mental. It's a real good time. I'm so sad I'm not in the path of totality. In reality, I should have driven to be somewhere. That's rough. I'm okay. I'll be okay. I'll be fine. Yo, it's windy as. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Don't Be Like Me. What do you mean, you ask? Well, it's simple. Be prepared. Be prepared with things you may need for the next natural phenomenon that comes your way, like the right filter, or maybe a microphone cover, or maybe you need a much longer lens than the one you have now. Whatever your needs are when it comes to camera equipment, I bet you can find it in great shape, but for way less at KEH, which actually brings me to what I wanted to tell you next. I got a new camera. It was a birthday present from my partner. I was so proud of him when I saw the KEH packaging. And then when I asked him if he used my code, he goes, What code? Yeah, so don't be like me and get the gear you need before you need it. And also, please don't be like Tyler and use my damn code if you do decide to shop. Thank you so much. Yeah, opening up an RB67 on my birthday was a huge shock. I wasn't expecting it in the slightest. I was already planning on getting it for myself, actually, because my RZ67 that I've really fallen in love with over the years has been giving me issue after issue. So I wanted to basically replace it with the mechanical version just to avoid all of those electronics. Most recently, that camera actually gave out on me on my very last day in Spain when I was there on a huge photo job. There must have just been something cursed about that day because my RZ just suddenly goes catatonic on me at sunrise, and then at sunset, the memory card with all of the video footage of the day is lost. You could say it was a double whammy kind of a situation. So having this RB to fill that gigantic void has been a true pleasure. I've had this camera now for a couple months, and I've been testing it out and loving the results as I expected I would. I love the format of this camera, the shutter, the two-step advance is really fun. I also love how effortlessly the back rotates compared to the RZ. So far, so good. As far as lenses, I have been shooting on the 90mm 3.8. Amazingly enough, I got this lens from an incredibly kind stranger who just so happened to have some RB lenses collecting dust. So he sent me over the 50 and the 90 and basically let me take my pick from the two, and I chose the latter. Thank you so much to that kind stranger. You know exactly who you are. I first tested the camera with Tyler himself in my studio. Initially, it felt super familiar because of all of my previous RZ use. The mechanics, the dials, the buttons, the way it weighs like 5 times more than you think it's going to. This was my first test roll through this camera, and I actually still need to get these images properly scanned in, but you can head on over to my Instagram to see a couple of them that I scanned in myself. They turned out great, and they were really just to prove to me that the camera and the back and the lens were all functioning properly. Aside from shooting it indoors, I've also taken this camera with me on some landscape adventures, which you will see a lot more of in my next video. But this camera has been traveling with me and serving me well wherever we've gone. Watching myself shoot this camera back on video actually really reminds me of just how slow of a process this camera requires. And sometimes that's pretty frustrating, but I think that's why I'm so drawn to it. Photography feels precious again with a camera like this. She's even tagged along with me on some recent production trips that I've had with Sunny 16. We actually recently worked on a crazy cool project where we directed a short documentary for Dramamine, and you bet I lugged this puppy around for the portraits I needed to get of all of our characters. This camera, just like the RZ, is heavy, 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 to the point that I think I need a chiropractor now because my back is broken. But it's worth it. She's worth it every time. Well, that's about it for today. More on the RB very, very soon. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Love you, bye!